is a beautiful Tuesday, and I know everyone is doing quite well. And always we do our predictions as we see how the week runs, and there are many games coming up, but these are my picks for today. And I will start with Fiorentina versus Como. Now, if you to look at these two teams, they are actually doing very well. In their own club. They're trying to pick up themselves, and you remember that this is already towards the end of the season. No one, no club or no teams, you undermine them. I keep saying and give reference that we also what happened on Super Sunday. Yeah. And of course, in the last 5 matches, Fiorentina managed to pick 2 wins, drew 2 and lost 1. And Common managed to pick 3 wins, of course, drew 1 and lost 1. And of course, these guys are doing quite very well. Common sits actually. You see how Como plays. It's in the 4th position, but how they are doing in the 6th position rather, but how they are doing is quite well. And I love what they're doing. The Frank Lampard boys they're doing, and these two teams they have ever actually met, and I know that Common has ever won betting man Fiorentina two times in the last 3 meetings. Fiorentina managed to pick only 1 win, and always goals actually are not very many from both sides. That's why we can go with over 1.5 in this game. Yes, because goals are always not many. If you have to see the records, Como beats 2-0 or 1-0 or 1-1, not many goals. So I think the best choice is to go with over 1.5, or for some people who may see or one's odd, you can as well guard Common, but the best option would be over 1.5. Yes. So that is the first game in the first sleep. The second one is Club Brugge 2, not the main one, Brugge 2 versus Kortrijk, that is in Belgium. And if you look at these two teams, Club Brugge actually lost 4 matches in the last 5 meetings, and only managed to pick 1 win in the last 5 games. And Kortrijk actually managed to pick 2 wins, lost 2 and draw 1. And Kortrijk sit in the 2nd position. Club Brugge 2 sit in that's on the 17 positions, which is quite alarming. If you look at this, we shall go with a straight win to away team Kortrijk. Yes, we shall give a straight win there. Then the third, of course, game in this first, of course, slips is Al-Hilal versus Wadi Degla in Egypt Premier League. Yeah, so these two teams, they have ever met quite many times. Yes, and in the last 11 meetings, head to head, Wada Dalig has never beaten Al-Hilal. They have never beaten this. And if you look at the performance right now, Al-Hilal actually is not doing quite well, but they sit still in the 3rd position. And Wadi actually managed to pick 3 wins, 1 draw and 1 loss in the last 5 games. But Al-Hilal managed only to pick 2 wins, lost 3. But if you look at the records, some of these games I told you are records. They are not like where they sit at the moment. So in the last 11 meeting, Al-Hilal managed to beat this Wadi 9 times and draw only 2 times in a 11 meeting. So somehow here, it's actually is to repeat itself. I will go with Al-Hilal to take all the 3 points. Yes, however, their positions are not far. There is a 3rd position versus a 4th position, but somehow I'll still trust Al-Hilal to take all the 3 points. So this is for the first sleeps. These 3 games. Now, the second sleep of the day, it's St. Paul versus RB Leipzig. So we all know that these two teams, they have ever met, and currently how they're doing. You can look at St. Paul actually sits in the actually 17th position, and Leipzig currently sits in the 5th position, which is quite not bad. But St. Paul managed only to register one win in the last five, of course, game, lost two, draw two. And Leipzig managed only two wins and lost three in the last five games. But I say that if you look at the performance of these two teams, quite they have records. Leipzig in the last six meetings, these two teams, Leipzig won three, St. Paul won two, and there was one draw between these two teams. So the safer part that I see in this game is to guard RB Leipzig. Because if you to see, Leipzig is doing not very bad at the moment. They sit in the 5th position versus the 17th position. So we are going to guard Leipzig in this second ticket. Then the second game in our second ticket is Werder Bremen versus 1899 Offenheim. That is still in Bundesliga. And if you're to see at Werder's done a lot of things, no win in the last five games, which is so alarming. They lost three, they lost two, and they drew three. And of course, Hoffen managed to pick three wins and lost one, draw one, and they sit in a third position, of course, in that La Liga behind Borussia Dortmund. And you see that doing quite well. Yeah. But look at also the head-to-head meetings in the last 8 games that these two teams played. Why they only managed to pick one win, draw one, and Offenheim won 6. And of course, the serious one. But if you to see the win still that Offenheim won, you find that why they sometimes score goals, but orphanage, can beat 3, 4, 2, 3. And the goals has been actually raining here. So in this game, it's still good. We shall still guard that way team. Yes, we're going to guard also Hoffenheim in this case. Then the last, of course, a game for today. And this game, the third one is Hemen versus Kamba. Yeah, so you know that when we go back to Netherlands, this is what happened. And of course, always is doing their part. They sit in 12 positions in the league, and Kamba sits on the second position in the league. And of course, we look at the last 5 matches. They managed to only pick to win. They lost 2 and drew 1. And of course, for Kamba managed to pick 4 wins and 1 draw in the last actually 5 games. And but if you to look at the head-to-head records, is quite not good. Even if you to look at the current performance. For example, in the last, of course, 8 meetings between these two teams, of course, won 4, and there were 3 draws and 1 win. That shows that something is not right somewhere. So you may trust that maybe Kamba can win, but for us to be safe, we have to play safe as well. So we have to play safe as well, and of which I see that the appropriate one that we can go with is always over 1.5. Anything can happen. And for some people who are risk taker, you can also go with both teams to actually score, which is also ready available. But the appropriate one is always to go with over 1.5 to be more safer. So these are my predictions for today, and of course we got many actually games coming up, and all my TikTok Always 4 is available. You had on this to get on others as we plan for more games which are coming up. And of course, the Champions League also available for the grab. We know that teams which are obviously, oh, they're looking actually to top the table, they're also coming up. Yes. Still, the talking points still continue until the weekends. Everyone is talking about what happened. For us as Chelsea, we humiliated, of course, Crystal Palace 3-1. We, those who love Chelsea, you know that they're always blue heart for you people. We love you all. We picked a win. And for us not fine, of course, we wish you all the best. You guys, yes, that you know it's not easy, but all in all, next time better. And you must stay, you guys, focused to take the trophy.